Today, I wanted to talk about my favorite way to read comics, what I believe is the best way, the best format for reading comics, because there's a ton of different ways to read comics. There's not really a wrong way. You got, your single issue floppies, you've got digital comics, you've got the new compact comics that DCs are doing, and Marvel's sort of copying, but making more expensive and a little larger, so it kind of defeats the whole purpose of doing compact comics. Anyways, you've got omnibuses, you've got hardcovers, you've got deluxe editions, you've got paperbacks, all a ton of different ways, all legitimate ways to read comics. But for me personally, when it comes to comics, I want it in the biggest format possible. I want a big, large comic to read because it's a visual medium, and I want that art to be popping. I want to see it. I really want to be able to admire it and take it in. And for me, the way to do that is with the biggest format possible. When I go to the movies, I like seeing it on the biggest screen possible. I like going to IMAX. It's the same with reading comics. And for me, the best way to read them is those big oversized editions. So for DC, that's the absolute editions. Image and some others will do library editions or deluxe editions, they'll call them. But any oversized editions, I believe DC does it the best. I don't know if Marvel even does these. From what I can tell, all I could find is artist editions for Marvel, which isn't the actual story. So I don't think Marvel has their own absolute editions. I could be wrong, but when I was searching around, I couldn't find anything. But the absolute editions I think are awesome. And I accidentally discovered the absolute editions years ago, how I first got into it, because I wanted to get the Luthor series because I had the issues, but I wanted to get a collected edition for it. I saw Absolute Luthor and I was like, oh, that just must mean, well, Absolute Luthor Joker. I was like, oh, that just means it collects all of it. That's what Absolute means. Because I saw Absolute All-Star Superman stuff. I was like, I don't know what Absolute means. And I got it and it was ginormous. I was like, oh, so absolute means it's gigantic. So I grabbed a bunch of, well, I grabbed some of my, because I have a ton of these oversized editions. If you saw my room tour video, then you've seen that. But I grabbed a couple of my favorites to show you guys today. So you see, here's a little preview of what I'll be showing you. But for DC, for the absolute editions, I chose the Death of Superman because that's like the newest one I got. Sadly, I didn't get the Tombstone edition because when I pre-ordered it, I saw there were two different editions. I didn't look into what the editions were, but I saw one was cheaper, so I was like, I'll just get the cheaper one because I don't feel like spending a bunch of money. And then later I saw the Tombstone edition. I was like, that's so cool. I should have got that, but I didn't. Anyways, this edition's really cool. But I believe DC does the best jobs with these because all the other ones are cool, but DC really, really goes above and beyond for theirs and gives you a lot of extra stuff, especially with the Death of Superman one. They give you even more than with the standard absolutes. But with pretty much every absolute, they give you interviews with the creative team on it and like how they were feeling when they were making the book and all the behind the scenes, what was going on. They give you a ton of extra goodies because generally speaking, when it comes to the collected editions, a lot of times you'll get like some variant covers, maybe some character sketches, and if you're lucky, you'll get some like scripts for the book, and that's basically it. But with this, you get all that plus interviews and anything else they can throw in there, and it's really cool. So I will show you. Also, I'll show you. Let me show you a size comparison for this compared to like a normal floppy. So you see, Absolute Edition, standard floppy. Bit of a size difference. You can see. So I love how huge this is, especially for, because not everything I probably wouldn't be great in an absolute edition, but for something like Death of Superman, where it's you have the final story is all, well, the final issue is all splash pages. I mean, just come on, look at that, incredible looking. I love that. Like, this is the way to read Death of Superman in most great stories, I believe. But anyways, they give you a bunch of extra stuff. Like you'll see, show you. So you see they have like a little forward from Dan Jurgens going all into it, and then at the end they have stuff from the other creatives on this because it wasn't just Dan Jurgens. This was Triangle era where you had a ton of different writers and artists working on these Superman books. And you see you get like all these sketches and everything and just so much extra stuff, and I'm like, that's so cool. I think it's like the absolute editions I feel like are really made for like people who your hobby is comics, you love comics, like this is the way to go. Like, look at all this extra stuff, and this is just like, this is what generally comes with an absolute edition. But with the Death of Superman absolute edition, they give you even more. They give you also, you see, as you could already tell, there's this little cape on the outside and everything to make it look like Superman's tattered cape when he died. But they also give you this Save for Lois Chief Daily Planet Press Archives, and you can see it's got like some mock like coffee mug prints on there. and this gives you a bunch of little extras. You get like an obituary, you get like a for Superman, you get the article for when he died. This is a big old poster that I don't want to unravel right now. You get the armband for Death Superman, which I would not wear right now because I'm out in Seattle, and things might go bad if I wear an armband. People might not pay attention to that. It's Superman. But you get some cool stamps looking. You get for Superman's funeral, the death certificate. You get a news time for like you're actually in universe when Superman died. So yeah, all this cool stuff that I love, and I think it's just like a comic book fan's dream. But that's for Absolute Edition. So I think DC, I think that is by far the best way. Now, it is the most expensive, obviously. My advice would be, if you want to get an Absolute Edition, I'd say, generally speaking, wait until after it comes out and get it when it'll go down. But if you do want to buy it at release, panel bound I found is the cheapest. They generally have pre-orders cheaper because I used to buy them on Amazon for it would be list price, was like $125, and then I found panel bound generally has them for like $98, so a bit cheaper. I'm not affiliated with panel bound or anything at all, but that's where I buy a lot of comics from because they have cheaper Absolute Editions. Then moving on to some other oversized editions, I like that for the Witcher comics, they did these library-sized books. They did these, they call them the library editions. Yeah, the Witcher library. So this is not connected to the Witcher books. This is connected to the CD Projekt Red games. So if you played the games and you like them, you'll like that. But yeah, what's cool about this is it's a different creative team for every story arc. So there's a lot of different art. And I really like that a lot because, like, look at that. Looks so cool. Get to see Geralt fighting different monsters, and then you go to the next arc, and you'll see that it's a different artist. So you get different art style, and it's really cool. Again, in this format, everything looks real nice. Everything feels real nice. Nothing really extra here. It's just a nice, big, oversized edition, and I think it's pretty cool, especially if you're a Witcher fan. If you like the games, you'll like it. There's some cool stuff in there. Now, on to one of my favorite writers, Rick Remender. Thankfully, he does these oversized editions with Image for pretty much all of his books. I'm happy about this because there's some others I really like. Ed Brubaker and Shauna Phillips. I love what they do with Criminal and everything. They do deluxe editions, but they're not oversized. They're like basically the same size as the normal hardcovers. And that makes me sad because, like, I want a big oversized edition like this. They do these deluxe editions that are oversized, and you get this Jerome Opeña art that is magnificent. I mean, just beautiful. And I love Seven to Eternity, and it's so cool. And just seeing how amazing this looks, and you get some cool extra stuff in here as well. I don't want to show too much because I don't want to spoil things because this isn't like a regular thing that every single person has read. But yeah, you get some I believe you get some scripts and stuff in the back of here. Yeah, you do. You get to see some of that stuff in the back. So there's some extra here, and some extra sketches and character sketches from Jerome Opeña, and just a great book if you haven't read it. Seven to Eternity is incredible. But if you're looking to get into Rick Remender, I would highly recommend looking at the deluxe editions for his book because they're really cool and they're ginormous and they're the best way to read them. And then lastly, the last example I have of this is the Parker series from Darwyn Cooke, because you have those Parker novels and Darwyn Cooke did comic adaptation of them. Darwyn Cooke, rest in peace, one of the greatest artists of all time. He did it, and it's so good, and it's pretty cool. You see it has like the Absolute Edition. It's got like the slipcase, but it's these nice big old oversized, and you get all this, like, who wouldn't want giant oversized Darwyn Cooke art? Like, look at how awesome that looks. Look at that. That is incredible looking. Oh my, and you get a bunch of extra stuff here too. And there's two oversized editions for the Parker series. They did this, and they did the I can't remember what they're called. Also, these are called Martini editions, what they call their giant versions. But I'll go to the back so you can see some of the extras. Yeah, look at that. So cool. I love this. Yeah, this stuff is awesome. Well worth the price, in my opinion. You can hunt them down. Again, these are expensive. They're not cheap. They're not something that I would that would say that everyone needs to get. But if you're really into comics, if that's your thing, then I definitely say it's well worth the money getting these oversized editions. I wish Marvel did them. Again, maybe I'm wrong and Marvel does. I'm just missing out. But from what I could tell, I don't think Marvel does any big oversized editions like DC or some Image books do. Um, but this is the way to go, man. It's awesome. It's an experience. It's also great for rereading comics. I don't know how often people reread comics. I know it's different for every person, but for me, when a new Absolute Edition comes out, it's like a book I've already read. It's like, oh, I've been looking for an excuse to reread that book. Now I get to reread it in this new huge format. So it's a nice way to reread a comic instead of just going back and rereading it the exact same way that I did before. And I love that. So yeah, Absolute Editions, the martini editions, these big deluxe editions, these are the way to go in my opinion. But I just wanted to talk about this because I think this is the best way to read comics, and I know not everyone knows about these absolute or giant oversized editions, especially if you buy a lot of comics online. You may not know, because I've first found out about them by randomly buying one online, and then when it came, it was like in the mail, it was like, oh, it's huge. I didn't realize because I didn't see it in the store. It's like, oh, it's ginormous. I didn't know there were these giant editions, and so ever since then, that's been my main way to go. I know a lot of people loving these compact editions. I think those are great. I think those are great at getting new readers in. But as far as people that are well into comics and love comics, I think this is the way to go. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about my favorite way to read comics, and I'll hear from you guys in the comments down below. What are your favorite ways to read comics? What's your preferred method, your preferred format? I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see y'all later.
Hey, skinny boy, saucy boy, I be running to the bank. Yeah, you know I hit the gas in the whip full tank. Riding past the ocean while I'm listening to Frank.